welcome to La Vida Las Vegas podcast. We're two physical therapists living the life in Las Vegas. I'm Dr. Erica.
And I'm Dr. Joe. We created this podcast for two reasons. First, to connect the healthcare, wellness, and fitness communities in Las Vegas. And second, to highlight all the amazing people we've met along the way.
Thank you for listening, and remember to take care of yourself.
Erica Krupp is a massage therapist and owner of RX Plus Massage located in Vegas. She worked in traditional settings and decided that things could be done a little bit better. She decided to create her own clinic to represent generations X, Y, and Z. At her clinic, you can pick your own music, whether it be 90s R&B or Pink Floyd. You can also opt in for the hangover cure while you vent about your day.
Erica, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to La Vida Las Vegas podcast. You want to go through your full name and kind of what you do?
My name's Erica Krupp. I'm the owner of RX Plus Massage. Started in a little CrossFit gym and becoming something big.
Excellent. And where are you located?
I'm off Sahara and Rainbow, right inside a medical complex across from the Source Dispensary.
Excellent. That's how people can find you.
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
Everybody knows where that is.
So, Erica, why did you choose Las Vegas? Let's talk about a little bit that backstory. What brought you here?
I'm super spontaneous. Came out to visit friends, fell in love with the weather, just never left. So that was 14 years ago on a whim at 3 a.m. in March, and now we're 14 years later, and I'm still here.
And where are you from?
Washington State.
That's right. Okay. So you still have family in Washington?
Yes, I try to visit when they're not ground zero for COVID.
Very true. How do you like to spend your time when you're in Las Vegas?
Hiking. The outdoors out here is amazing compared to other places around. I mean, during our spring and fall, you can find waterfalls out there. There's trees. You wouldn't expect it in the desert, but...
What's your favorite hike?
Probably First Creek. It's way in the back of the loop.
Okay, yeah, that's right. The last parking
Yep, that little part that pulls out.
Yeah. Okay, we got to check that one out. I don't think we've been there yet.
Is that one in Red Rock?
Yeah, it's the very back of Red Rock. There's that little road that's off to the side. That's an actual road that goes back in the spring, and it has an amazing waterfall.
Very cool. I'm not aware of that one yet. So, other than hiking, what else do you do to spend your time in Vegas?
CrossFit. I like working out. I like lifting heavy things. It's a good vent of stress out here. Better than other forms that you see out here in Vegas of how people let out their stress. Plus, I enjoy being stronger than men, so.
Me too.
Right?
So, as far as other than CrossFit, and we always try and tell people that Vegas isn't just the Strip. Whenever you tell people that you live there, that's their assumption, is that that's where you live. So, what are some other things that you've noticed about Vegas that are like kind of unique for this town, but it's not necessarily what you think of?
We are the smallest big city you'll ever live in. Every industry knows everybody in it, and you burn a bridge, you're done with that career. Everybody knows that you messed up. Also, you end up finding out that someone you know knows another person that you know, and it's just one of those weird little things. You'll find people from your hometown here that live here, and you didn't know. It's a very small town.
It is pretty strange. I noticed, especially like in the fitness community, like everybody seems to know everybody, and then we have friends that do different various jobs, and like all of them within that category, they all know everyone that does it. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just messaged somebody the other day, and I was like, "Oh, you guys should introduce. All right, I'm going to introduce you guys." And they're like, "Oh, we already know each other." I'm like, "What?" But anyways, I think it, like you said, small world.
Oh yeah, I
small
get
industry.
people all the time are like, "Oh, this person." I'm like, "Oh no, I know them." Erica, you know everybody. Yes, I do. I talk to everybody.
Yes, Erica does. Erica Krupp knows everybody, not Erica Wong.
So as far as when people think of massage, they never really know exactly what that means. And I know there's like different types and there's different like names or categories. Could you go through some of those differences just so people have an idea of like, because when they hear massage, especially out here in Vegas, that can mean like numerous things. But what are some of the different styles or different types that you specialize in?
So with massage, I'm more of a deep tissue. I'm more of a fix you, put you through some pain to get you there, but we have a goal in mind. We also have Swedish. Some massage therapists don't like referring to Swedish and deep tissue as different things. It's just all therapeutic. I personally think there's a big difference. You can do a light to medium pressure, affect the parasympathetic system, and help bring them back into a rest and digest state. That would be more of your Swedish massage. Deep tissue, you are still doing the Swedish in areas that don't need it, but in areas that you do need deep tissue, you get to that progressive pain, the one that you're going to get something out of. It is not comfortable. We bring you to a 6. We don't bring you past that. So it's not like I'm sitting there making you tap out, but we are going to make you uncomfortable. And we also like to put in little modalities like cupping and scraping and anything we need to do to fix you up and get you moving again.
You want to talk a little bit more about, cupping and scraping? There's a lot of parallels, I think, in massage and physical therapy. So if you would tell a little bit more about that.
Well, with scraping, there's 2 different types that people would know of. Grafton being the big one known here, just because when you hear scraping, you think of physical therapy and you think of Grafton. It's the Americanized version of gua sha. Gua sha was used 2,000 years in China. It's less aggressive, but it gets the same results. So when I get people who are like scraping, oh no, I've done that. I hate it. Like, it bruises me. And I don't bruise you, but I'm still going to leave that little petechiae coloring on your skin where you look like a hickeys. But we don't bruise you. You're still going to be able to get that breaking up the adhesions, breaking up all that scar tissue. We also have the cupping. We both do that. I know you guys do cupping as well. People think cupping leaves bruises when, again, it's that petechiae. It's breaking the little blood vessels underneath and leaving a hickey. What that does is that blood into those tissues helps the healing process. We also can help with impingements of nerves with the cup and bringing you through different motions. You can use it for trigger points and breaking up those. I know a lot of CrossFitters have trigger points in their back that causes neck pain, shoulder pain, so we break that up with the cups. And while I use cups, I use them to massage too, so I'm manually pulling them across the skin and breaking up all the adhesions underneath.
So how is it structured when you have a massage? Is it like mostly like you go through it? Like, how do you kind of structure it, I guess? What would someone expect if they're working with you?
My massages are custom to each person. I know you go to a spa, it's going to be cookie cutter. It's going to be, okay, we're going to spend 30 minutes on the back and 5 minutes on this leg, and then we just know exactly what our routine is when we work at a spa. But with me, I make sure that everything is customized to what you need. If you come in and say shoulders and neck really been messing me up, and I start massaging and I find out there's a lot going on, I'm going to tell you let's spend the entire hour on the top half. There's no reason to touch the bottom half right now. So it's different for each person and what they need. I take into their concerns and make sure that I do what they need personally.
And we definitely appreciate that because I think sometimes too when things are really general, people want to jump really quickly into like a maintenance type phase of treatment, but it's good to know that there's like a goal or something that like an end game that you're trying to get to. Like, so if you're going, like if you go to the physician, they're not just gonna be like, oh, let's just like keep giving you pills for the rest of your life. You're like, what will these do? Is there an end game for this or should I work out? But but I think that's definitely needed in the medical community. We definitely appreciate that.
You mentioned too, or in general, massage can mean very different things in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Probably more so than any other part of the country. Can you talk a little bit more just how is kind of the industry of massage in general out here, and how have you been able to navigate this into this real like niche down, working with CrossFitters and athletes?
Yeah, I realized moving out here that it is seen as happy ending spots, massage parlors. It became even more evident during the shutdown. When things were being brought back open, we came to find out that he had lumped massage in with massage parlors. So most of Nevada, prostitution is legal. So massage parlors are legal outside of Clark County. So we just kind of got lumped in with that. Like if we keep the regular real massage therapists closed, we'll keep all the parlors closed. So then after writing in, they kind of set us with spa and the service industry, which still technically is not correct because we are healthcare, we are board certified, take CEs, we have to have ethic CEs, all that stuff. So still not correctly classified. we're working on it as a group of people trying to get Nevada to realize some places actually have us covered under medical, where insurance will pay for your massage because it is a medical treatment. We have where we can help with injuries. We can keep you from injuring yourself. If you cover chiropractic, I don't see why you wouldn't cover massage. It's just one's working with bones and one's working with the muscles. But I wanted to go on a niche once I realized it's just all spa, fluff and buff massage, and it's very rare that you find someone who does real sports massage. When they say sports massage, they just kind of stretch you, do some quick compressions, and send you on your way. Where I want to have an injury and fix the injury and see the progress that we can make instead of just a quick, okay, I'll see you maybe next year if we're working on the strip. So I like having treatment plans. I like telling someone, let's fix your pain. See you every other week. Once we get past the pain stage, we can go into maintenance.
Very good.
So what is something that you've learned and you wish you knew sooner?
Probably myofascial work, just because all the tools save your hands. And as a massage therapist for the last 10 years, the scar tissue in my wrists and everything has gotten where if I don't take joint supplements, I can tell the difference. So I wish that more therapists knew that we had options where we don't have to just constantly use our hands to get the same results. We can use tools to help actually get better results than what we could do with our hands. So that's probably something I feel that they should push in massage school.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we see that as clinicians too, especially as a manual therapist, you're used to getting your hands and using it, especially in your thumbs, right?
Yes.
Thumbs are like the big thing that we see if we see our own, like sometimes like therapists would be like, yeah, I have this, I can only do my right thumb like this way because I use that thumb so often. But, and we've learned too, is like the best way to take care of your own self is you have to, as a clinician, is to remember, or the only way you can basically take care of other people is that you make sure you take care of yourself too. And one of the ways that people do that is to be able to use other tools to help them kind of achieve similar results like you mentioned. Well, that's awesome. How about something you commonly see in your practice that you wish more people knew?
Because of where we are in Vegas, a lot of therapists are scared to massage certain areas of the body, which drives me insane. Glutes get avoided out here, and glutes are your biggest muscle group because it's used constantly to stand, to walk. Anything you do, you're using your glutes. So out here, massage therapists have been told to err on the side of caution to the point that now they're overly cautious. They don't know what to do in that area, so they just avoid it altogether. Same with psoas. I have multitudes of people who come to me and are like, you actually work psoas? Yes, because there's a big difference between me working on your abdominals and working anywhere else in that area. So it's that whole just stigma attached to massage. Avoid areas that could be construed as something sexual. So women, they'll avoid their pecs, and women need their pecs worked on. Our boobs pull us forward. It's just a way of life. We need that worked on. But a lot of therapists won't touch female pecs.
And the areas that you just named too are like super common for people that are CrossFitters, that are areas that are normally really tight and gristly, like psoas, glutes, pec minor, like all those areas are terrible.
Yes.
For them normally.
Yeah. Especially even you're just working at a desk. Like if you think about all the sitting that people do in general, hunched over, looking at computers, those are very commonly areas that we see people who are really stiff as well. And sometimes you just need some love there,
Yes.
Erica will hook you up with that because it's so awesome going through that. And I guess I want to touch up a little bit too about, what kind of stress levels are people going through right now? I feel like massage is like one of the top things that people think of when they're like, I need to relax or I need something to help me, help with stress management. What are you seeing in terms of people's stress levels?
A lot of stress, people. I feel like right when we opened, I was fully booked for the first 2 weeks. My first day off was 3 weeks in. But it's not just the stress, it's the fact that they had no human contact. And as humans, we need touch. We need the touch of another person. It just makes us feel better. And so with them having no human contact for 3 months, they were starving for human contact when I got them. So
I think it makes such a huge difference. I know when, the gyms are generally open in Las Vegas, but we're still hands off in a lot of senses, right? So you're like cleaning your own equipment or whatever, but there's nothing like a high five,
Yeah.
like just to just be excited about something. I think that's one of the things about sport is so awesome is like you can yell and scream and you give somebody a high five and it means so much.
Yeah.
Like in what other life, like you're not really doing that when you're like on a computer and be like, yeah, I just
PR'd my
spelled that
accounting
right. Yeah, I
sheet.
spelled that correctly, I mean, obviously
Right.
spelling bee, I give major props to the ESPN spelling bee because I watched, have you ever watched the spelling bee?
Yes.
Those kids are so impressive. They're asking the definitions of some of those words, and like I don't even know what that word is. I've never heard that word in my life. I don't even know how to spell it. Like that's amazing that they know how to they go through this and they're able to sound it out in a way. I think it's amazing.
And once it gets past like 8 letters, my potential for spelling that word drops
off.
drastically. So, as far as in your practice, I've been there before, and you definitely do things differently. And like I was telling you before, we really appreciate that. But what are some services that you offer that people would not know that you offer?
So most people know us as the massage therapist that beats you up and fixes you and sends you on their way. But now that we have our own location, we are doing Reiki, which is more of an energy work, kind of helps with insomnia, anxiety, that more parasympathetic side of it. The names of our services are a little different just because we cater more towards Gen Z, Y, and X, not so much the blue-haired old ladies. So we have a fix your shit massage, which is more myofascial. We have a balance your shit massage, which is Reiki, and we have relax your shit massage, which is more of a Swedish and kind of de-stressing massage. But we have all these little add-ons now, and we're kind of trying to be a spa that's welcoming to the younger generation. Pick your own music, local artists on the walls. You're not going to have vanilla scented anything, and there's no flower wallpaper. There's no whales singing in the back of horrible elevator music. So it's more for the younger generation.
That's very good. And you were telling me about one earlier that was something to help people breathe a little bit easier for like sinuses.
On our add-ons, we have a sinus treatment. So it's a eucalyptus essential oil infused hot towel. We place it on the face, do some pressure points on your sinuses, take that off, and then we do a nice sinus massage with a little vibration, get everything draining, especially with how smoky the valley is right now and nobody's able to breathe. Mm-hmm. Kind of helps open everything up.
What's Reiki?
Reiki?
Yeah.
So it's the best way to explain it because some people don't believe in the whole Eastern energy work. So your body's made of energy. My body's made of energy. Everybody's made of energy. So when someone says aura, what they're talking about is the energy field that comes off your body because you're made of energy. So you can find different spots that the energy's blocked and it's not flowing through the body like it should. So what they do is they learn to use their energy to help open up your energy. Kind of transfer of energy, which is when you touch someone, you transfer energy. There are certain people that when you come into contact with, you just feel icky because you can feel their energy. Mm-hmm. So it's that same concept. It's using the energy to help flow through the body to get it working properly and help the body self-heal.
So when you feel, as like a practitioner, what are you feeling in terms of if there are certain areas of their body, if you will, that may have been blocked, like you mentioned?
So it depends on the therapist, but some people will get stuck there where they just feel like, I'm not going to move. It doesn't want me to move. It's kind of, you just stick. Kind of a stick feeling. Other people feel cold in that area, and they just kind of stay until it feels like it'll let them go. Mm-hmm. But it's just a different feeling for each person. I say that people's energy field kind of feels like the static electricity on a blanket. Mm-hmm. And then when you don't feel static, there's no energy in that spot. So then I focus there.
Okay. So it's more like based on the connection in a sense with you and the massage therapist you're working with, and
yes.
They identify, it sounds like little temperature differences, overall feeling of just the feeling of the fascia or the muscle itself, but just their overall feeling and emotions that go into that touch.
Yes, you can, and it's just that big energy transfer. Reiki only works if you feel like a good connection with your therapist. If you can tell right away if there's not going to be that connection, it's not going to work. There's just certain people that, you know, your energy doesn't mesh well with.
So with massage therapy, it sounds like you have a kind of a mixture of, you know, Western and Eastern type of stuff. How does that mesh together, and like how do you kind of use one and more so the other in your practice?
In my practice, I mush them together very well. So the problem is most therapists are either very Western, where it's myofascial, it's this, we find the source of the issue, we go to it, and we break it up. Or you have the others who are very Eastern, and it's more acupuncture, cupping, Reiki, energy work, but not a lot like to think both can coincide. It's kind of how it is in most things in the world. You're either one side or the other. There's no happy medium. But I feel like energy is a big part of it. If you don't have focusing energy into fixing the problem, or if you're just going in like, okay, I can fix this real quick and just scrape it and I'm gonna be better. Well, that's not how it works. You mentally have to be ready to fix this problem, and actually you yourself are going to go home and you're going to keep doing this because I need you to fix yourself too. But a lot of them mentally will just be like, no, Erica's just going to scrape things and fix it, and that's how it works. She's like a doctor. It's fine. So
one thing we talked about previously is essential oils.
Yes.
Can you tell us more and enlighten us a bit? Because I don't...
issue with essential oils?
Yeah, let's talk about essential oils. I don't know a thing about essential oils except for I bought some at Target, and I had to ask Erica, hey, Erica, how do I use this?
So I worked in spas, and spas like essential oils for the sole purpose that they smell pretty, and you get to smell them and pick out which one smells the prettiest to you, and that's literally it. But essential oils do have purposes. Lavender helps with antibacterial, so if there's a little cut, you can put that on there and it'll help with that. It also helps with inflammation in the area. So does lemongrass. Clove heats up the tissue. So you take these different things. Actually, one of the athletes here you might probably meet or have already met, Mike. He has Mike's Recovery. He uses the essential oils for correct purposes, where he takes ones and like I do with the sinus relief. I use eucalyptus because it opens the airways. There are medicinal properties to them that help with certain ailments in the body. Now, it's not like we're these people who think this is the only thing we need to use when I'm sick and it'll magically cure me, but it will help boost those reactions that you want. So if you have a little bit of a cut and you have no ointment nearby, but you have some lavender, throw it on there. It's okay. It's not going to make it bad. It's going to actually help keep things out. Or if you have a little inflammation and you have some lemongrass, throw it on. It'll help with the inflammation until you can ice it. I'm not saying this is a replacement for this, but it helps.
So if you are going through a stressful day or something and you take a bath or shower, how would you, in a sense, like choose which one you're going to use for different purposes, I guess?
So
if you could take us through some examples, I guess, of how you would use an essential oil, how you kind of choose things to help yourself, through the daily ins and out of life.
I personally like anything that warms my tissue. I like that nice warm hug after a long day. So I put a little bit of clove to heat up the temperature of my skin, to heat up the tissue of my body. It kind of warms it up. Even when you get out of the shower, or the bath, you're gonna feel the warmth of your tissue. But lavender is a calming, kind of helps activate that parasympathetic. Same with ylang ylang, that one helps as well.
Can you spell that?
Ylang, Ylang.
I like it.
But all these are more of a calming effect. But I think it's a personal preference as well. I can't stand lavender, so to help me calm down, lavender will not be it. That will just irritate me. I worked in the spas for too long, and I hate that smell. So I'm more of a chamomile person. But yeah, it's just a preference. You find ones that fit in certain categories and then go from there.
So they typically come in bottles. How do
just
you
put drops in your bath? Or like I said, with Mike and his amazing soaks, they're already preset. You just dump them and relax.
you don't have to think about it.
Right?
I like it.
No having to sit out there and count drops. You just go.
Is there a time where you put too many drops in, or is there such thing as putting that?
Peppermint, super cooling. So if you put too many drops of peppermint in your bath, you will be shivering and freezing no matter how hot that bath is. It is so cold.
So maybe try that out. I actually want to feel. I want to
experience this.
I do.
This and get out of the bath freezing.
No, because peppermint is used for brushing teeth. It was that's how they kind of created toothpaste, is to allow that kind of fresh taste to someone's mouth, and it has that cooling agent. So that's why there's so much in peppermint, and mint itself was when, I don't know, maybe in the early 40s, 30s. I forget the time period, but when they were creating these products of general health and creating these, that's one way they were able to sell it better, because it gave that fresh taste to it. That's funny. I want to try that now.
Peppermint's good for inflammation in the joints too. So for hand baths, I do like an ice bath in a 1 gallon bucket with a whole bunch of peppermint, and I just soak my hands. And then afterwards it's freezing.
So if you have like the essential oil, you can either put it in the mister thing, or you could put it right into the water, or there's certain types that are made for each.
You can put it in the water. You can put it in if you're going to apply it topically, I would say put it in a carrier oil, because you can burn your skin with peppermint or clove or anyone that either cools or heats. You can burn the skin itself.
What's a carrier oil?
Carrier oil would be coconut oil, almond oil, any base oil would work.
So it just like thins it out, or dilutes it a little bit?
Dilutes it a little bit so it won't irritate the skin.
Okay.
So like olive oil wouldn't be as appropriate?
Yeah, I don't think you want to rub olive oil on yourself.
Okay. All right.
It's a little bit much.
So what is your favorite cheat meal?
Oh, goodness. But they're not technically cheat meals. There's no such thing as cheat meals. It's all moderation.
I think we need to rephrase that question, but we will in the future.
Yeah.
Korean barbecue is one of my absolute favorites. Yeah, and soju and all that goodness that comes with it. Master Kim's my favorite. It has the little Korean pastries too at the end. So good. So
I
good.
feel like we've been there. What do they have what are the pastries like?
They're just little cinnamon swirled pastries that they put in their ice cream with at the very end of the meal. It's delicious.
I love it.
I'm standing up to check it out. I think we have to start making like a restaurant recommendation
I'm
list
gonna have to
as
make
we're
you guys a list
as we're
of
doing
places.
this.
Oh, yeah. Do you like the little dishes too, like the kimchi and you like the
Fish
pickled
cake.
vegetable fish? You like fish cake? I like it.
Glass noodles,
Yes. I love when people know what, like, all those small things. Because I don't remember the name of all of the little ones, but the way that they pickle it is just so amazing, and it has so much flavor.
Yes.
If I usually like to find a broccoli one too. They
Yes,
have
the broccoli
there?
one, yes.
They have
do.
it there.
Yes.
Oh man, Joe, we gotta go.
She's like, done.
Yep.
We're going.
So what is something you've been working on professionally, personally, physically, mentally, or just something that you're excited about?
I am slowly trying to build my referral team. I feel like that's one problem that we have in Vegas. Vegas isn't the warmest city, and everybody's kind of out for themselves. So I notice other cities, you have a referral group of PT, chiropractor, massage therapist, physician, and it's a whole little team, and they all work together, and they all communicate. And I feel like out here, it's trying to grasp at straws, finding someone that isn't just looking for how can you help me, but will help you as well in return. So I'm working on that. I have a yoga therapist who works with scoliosis. I have a chiropractor. I have you guys for my PT. But I'm going to start trying to incorporate it all together. I'm starting to hopefully do a yoga social type thing. Still able to keep the distance and keep guidelines good. But that way we can do a raffle, and I can include all of my other referrals where they have a little prize to send out, so that way their name gets put in front of more people. But I feel like I kind of want to do that with each of my referrals, where they all kind of interconnect and get to know each other's client base and get in front of each other's referrals and all that goodness, where we work as a big giant team to fix people.
I love it. And that's like, the main goal of our podcast is to be able to connect the healthcare, wellness, fitness, all those communities that we want to be able to, hey, like, let's highlight these people, because I think when you move here, or just in general, you kind of live in a sense, in a bubble of whether your 5 mile radius. I like to joke about it, because in Vegas, we tend to notice that people don't go outside that 5 mile radius.
It's too far.
Yeah, it is too far.
Yeah. I don't know. Driving 5 miles in Vegas is farther than anywhere else. I don't know why.
I can't go 15 minutes down the road. That's way too far.
Yeah, what am I do? That's my whole day.
But yeah, that's another reason why, and this is awesome. We loved having you here. But what would you like to leave listeners with?
Probably that more athletes need to focus on their health care. I want to see athletes be proactive in self-care. I feel like social media has shown them this pretty little world where professional athletes show how well they work out and how well they eat, but they're not highlighting their own self-care. So now we're breeding this new athlete where they just don't think that needs to be done. We don't see these big athletes post their self-care, so they must not be doing it. I can just work out and eat great, and I'm going to be the most amazing athlete ever. So I feel like just because you don't see it on social media, these big sports people have a huge team of self-care behind them that's keeping them at the performance level that they're at. So young athletes need to start learning that they are not invincible and that they need to start taking care of their bodies.
100%.
Yep, very sound advice. So how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook at RX Plus Massage. You can also find me online, www.rxplusmassage.com. But the best is social media. I post up any specials I'm running. I post up random humor. I am pretty much in the CrossFit world known as the magical unicorn massage therapist, because my hair will change month to month. So
we caught it today. You see it today. Check her out in the next month. See what color it is.
Right?
We gotta leave people with that mystery, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, we really appreciate you coming on our show. We appreciate everything that you do for the CrossFitters and the fitness community out here,
and for us personally too.
Yep. So thanks.
Anytime.
We'd like to thank you for listening to La Vida Las Vegas podcast. We hope you enjoyed the time with our guests as much as we did. It would help us out so much if you could share, subscribe, or review our podcast, or any combination of the three. Thanks again, and remember to take care of yourself.